Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, hope rises for young Nigerians aspiring to political offices as President Muhammadu Buhari signs the not too young to run bill into law, but with a caveat: they must wait until after 2019. For the second time, House of Representatives passes Electoral Act Amendment Bill, throws out electronic voting from document. Joint Health Sector Union suspends 45-day-old industrial action following the intervention of the National Industrial Court. And President Trump imposes metal tariffs on key allies. EU, Canada and Mexico vow to retaliate.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Ibe Kachuku offers to resign if local refineries fail to deliver 80% capacity by 2019.
On sports news, Channel's International Kids Cup champions LGEA Central Primary School Kwara State get 2 million naira for their triumph at the tournament.
Hello there, and from Abuja, court rejects request to keep former Kaduna State Governor Ramalan Yero in EFCC custody, remands him and 3 others in prison custody.
We begin tonight with the President signing of the Not Too Young to Run bill into law just 2 days after he promised to do so in a special broadcast to the nation on Democracy Day. In a brief ceremony at the Council Chambers in Aso Rock Villa, President Muhammadu Buhari says that it is an opportunity for the youth to make their mark on the political scene. The law reduces the age qualification for president from 40 to 35, House of Representatives membership from 30 to 25, and State House of Assembly membership from 30 to 25, with that of governors and senators left at 35. In his Democracy Day address on Tuesday, the President had promised to sign the bill into law in a few days' time. The National Assembly had passed the bill last year, altering Section 65, 106, 131, 177 of the Constitution to reduce the constitutional age requirements for the President and governors, as well as senators, House of Representatives and State House of Assembly members.
Global Shippers Community and also a member of the...
Your focus and contributions have now successfully increased the quality and maturity of Nigerian democracy and expanded the playing field for youth participation in politics. You, the young people of Nigeria, are now set to leave your mark on the political space, just as you have done over the decades in entrepreneurship, sports, art, media, entertainment, technology, and several other fields. You are undoubtedly Nigeria's most important resource. The bill I just assented now becomes an act of the National Assembly. Thus, it may be tempting for you to think of this as the end of the journey. However, it is only the beginning. There is still a lot of work ahead towards ensuring that young people take full advantage of the opportunities provided not only by this constitutional amendment, but also through Nigeria's boundless prospects. But please, can I ask you to postpone your campaign till after 2019 election?
And staying on that story, it is obvious that the coast is now clear for young Nigerians seeking elective positions to contest in the upcoming general elections in 2019, as President Muhammadu Buhari signs into law the bill for reduction of age of Nigerians seeking elective positions. This report takes a look at the bill, how it all started, the protests and agitations, as well as what the new law means to young Nigerians seeking elective positions in 2019.
Mr. President, It all started when the bill seeking to reduce the age for elective position was sponsored at both chambers of the National Assembly by young lawmakers. Honorable Tony Nwulu at the House of Representatives and Senator Abdulaziz Nyako at the Senate.
The fifth order of the day.
This is not the first time a bill seeking the reduction of age for people seeking elective positions was sponsored and passed at the National Assembly. This same bill was among the bills passed by the 7th Assembly, but was never signed into law by former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan. As if drawing lessons from that experience, a group of youths organized a campaign otherwise known as the Not Too Young to Run movement to pressure the National Assembly to pass the bill. There were several protest marches across Nigeria, including Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. Those agitations paid off when both chambers of the National Assembly passed the bill, altering sections 65, 106, 131, and 177 of the 1999 Constitution. The bill was also sent to the state houses of assemblies to complete the Constitution Amendment Circle, and 24 out of the 36 states passed the bill, which was then transmitted to the president for his assent. President Buhari keeps his Democracy Day promise and signs the bill into law. Apart from helping to open the political space for young people, the presidential assent puts to rest the many mixed feelings as to whether the bill will be signed or not.
Mr. President,
now that the bill is signed into law, political watchers are looking forward with much anticipation as to how this law will indeed affect the composition of those seeking elective positions in 2019.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, is claiming that President Muhammadu Buhari and his party, the All Progressives Congress, had no input whatsoever in the Not Too Young to Run bill, which was sponsored by two PDP lawmakers. A statement from the party's National Publicity Secretary, Kola Olobodiyan, also alleges that the president never showed any support or enthusiasm towards the initiative, but had no option than to perform a mandatory statutory duty of assessing and assenting to the bill. The statement also commends the sponsor of the bill and the resilience of the Nigerian youths in getting the initiative through. And staying with the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has passed a bill for an act to amend the provision of the Electoral Act No. 6, 2010, just 9 months to the general elections. The bill, which is different from that which the President refused to assent to, contains legislation of the card reader voting system, a safekeeping of the voter register, what happens in the event of a death of a candidate, among others, and does not contain the clause to reorder the election sequence. However, there were some amendments to the bill before it was passed, one of which is the amendment of the clause which mandates INEC to keep the register at specific locations across the country. Another amendment is the disqualification of a candidate alone without including the political party in the event of an electoral violence, and such a candidate will not be eligible to recontest the election. If a card reader fails in a unit, the election will be suspended and reconducted within 24 hours.
The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report on a bill for an act to amend the provision of the Electoral Act No. 6, 2010 to further improve the electoral process and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 2, approved clauses 3 as amended, approved clauses 4 to 8, approved clause 9 as amended, approved clauses 10 to 12, approved clause 13 as amended, approved clauses 14 to 15, deferred consideration of clause 16, approved clause 17, approved clause 18 as amended, approved clauses 19 to 21, approved Clause 22 as amended, approved Clause 23 as amended, deferred consideration of Clause 24, approved Clauses 25 to 32, approved Clause 33 as amended, approved Clauses 34 to 35, deferred consideration on Clause 36, approved Clauses 37 to 41, the explanatory memorandum and long title of the bill. Those in favor of the motion that the report considered in the committee of the whole be adopted, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
The senator representing Kogi West in the National Assembly, Dino Melaye, is asking President Muhammadu Buhari to apologize for making what he calls disparaging statements against the National Assembly, when he said some lawmakers have been in the chambers for 10 years without doing anything. President Buhari made the remarks on May the 22nd when he received a delegation of the Buhari Support Organization led by the Controller General of Customs at the Presidential Villa. Correspondent Linda Akibe reports.
Let anybody come and confront me publicly in the National Assembly. What have they been doing? Some of them have been there for 10 years. What have they been doing?
These are the comments by President Buhari which have ruffled the feathers of a federal lawmaker, Senator Dino Melaye.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in his address, said he doesn't know what we are doing in the National Assembly. I felt this statement, Mr. President, is not only unpresidential, but it's an assault on my person and the institution of the National Assembly, where I am proudly a member. I call on him to apologize to the National Assembly for using such a language, and that is where most of the appointees draw their inspiration from.
Senator Melaye also finds offensive the role played by the Comptroller General of Customs, Hamid Ali, during the visit to President Buhari at the Presidential Villa on May 22nd.
Comptroller General of Customs is a rank, and Customs is a paramilitary organization. And if the Comptroller General of Customs will be leading Buhari campaign organization, that is an aberration and against his oath of office. If he were wearing his uniform like I proposed earlier, he wouldn't have led the Buhari organization to meet with the president.
But the Senate President calls for caution.
I do not believe, I would like to believe that Mr. President definitely must have been misquoted. And I think that, and as such, we should not rush to come to these conclusions and in so doing make contributions that might be of concern.
Nevertheless, Senator Dino Melaye, still wearing a neck brace and aided by a walking stick, lays before the Senate the video evidence showing President Buhari's remarks, which he finds offensive.
The points you have asked, you can come and lay the disc.
The Senate moves on to security issues, receiving the National Security Advisor, Babagana Monguno, at plenary. The National Security Advisor is here to brainstorm with lawmakers on how to address the multi-headed problems of proliferation of firearms, killings and kidnappings across the country.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues.
The private meeting ends.
We directed that he submits a funding request similar to others, head of security agencies that had come before us.
This special funding for security agencies is expected to come as a supplementary budget and is separate from the $1 billion approved by President Buhari to address insecurity in the country. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, we continue our assessment of 3 years of the Buhari administration. Tonight, our focus is on the economy. Please stay with us.